Available now on Blu-ray from Arrow Films is The Snake Girl and the Silver-Haired Witch, a comedy. No, it's a this is a horror sci-fi film from Japan in 1968 from Daiei Films, one of the major Japanese studios. You had your Toho, you had your Toei, and you had your Daiei. And this is based on a manga, and it tells the story of this cute little short-haired Japanese orphan girl who is told that despite living all her life in an orphanage, her real parents have been found and they want her, and she goes out of the orphanage, which is not really portrayed as a terrible place to be, and goes off to live with her forever family, and things are just a little weird there. Father is a venomous animals expert, and mother has had an accident recently. They tell her, the little girl, that she may not remember things. She may say the wrong thing once in a while, but she means well. And the little girl arrives, and the mother immediately calls her by this other name, which is strange. It's a very loving family. This little girl her dream has come true. She goes from an orphanage to this big house with a big bedroom all to herself and dolls and toys, and there's a little weird hole in the ceiling, but paying no attention to that, and is treated really nicely. And dad has to immediately go off to Africa because some kind of rare species of venomous animal needs to be studied by him. And little girl goes to sleep the first night. Little girl is she's like a Japanese Donna Butterworth. She's really cute and really just upbeat about everything. She goes to bed, and out of this hole above her bed in the ceiling drops a snake on her. She freaks out. I'm not going to give you beat by beat. She freaks out, goes to tell the maid. The maid looks, there's no snake there. The little girl goes back to bed. Next to her bed stands up some other girl who turns around and has a snake face. This is some freaky stuff. It doesn't get better from there for this little girl. I don't want to get into the plot too much, but this is shot in crisp black and white, really strange, dreamlike, nightmarish imagery. When I heard afterwards that it was based on a manga, that made sense because some of the imagery is really weird, spellbound, dolly kind of stuff when this girl has nightmares. And there are these visions of this snake-faced girl. I really want to tell you more about it, but I really shouldn't, because as it goes, it just goes in these weird, it takes these weird turns and is really creepy. It's really creepy and kind of unsettling at times, but at the same time, this little girl is when she's not scared, is really upbeat. And it almost feels to me like this was a movie that was made for kids. Now, from what I've heard and read in the supplements, it wasn't, but it feels really like a William Castle movie. It feels like a 13 Ghosts kind of movie, if that means anything to you. Like, really crisply, well shot, but at the same time, like these shocker moments. These moments that are like that moment in the basement in House on Haunted Hill, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. Or, again, moments from 13 Ghosts or things like that, or Macabre. It's a fun 81 minutes, so not very long. Never released in the US, as far as I know. There's a lot of these Japanese films that Arrow is putting out now that never, to my knowledge, got a stateside release, at least not a very wide one. And it is subtitled. There's not a dub option on it, but the visuals really sell this one. It is not boring. It does not waste any time. It has multiple shocker moments in it. It's really, really good, and it's one of those like buried treasures that Arrow is digging up now and presenting gloriously on Blu-ray, thanks to these relationships they have with these Japanese studios. Transfer is excellent, very, very sharp black and white. A little print damage here and there. There was a moment where you see this house at night and it looks like it's raining, and then it cuts to the girl's bedroom and it looks like it's raining, and I'm like, did they forget to take the rain overlay off the next shot? But what it was vertical scratches. Really, really not bad. It was just, if I had to say there was a flaw with the transfer, it would be those very light vertical scratches. But for a movie that's, if you've seen it in this country before, it was probably via a pretty smeary bootleg. This movie looks gorgeous. Extras are not too voluminous. You have a David Kalat commentary. You have a featurette about the film and its manga roots by Zach Davison, which is like a half hour. Very interesting to me. It goes into the tradition of the snake woman, what do you call it? Not a character, the snake woman as a mythological spooky legend, and then how that plays into manga and styles of manga and comics that led up to this movie being made. And then about the movie itself, you get the original trailer, which is fun with its, splashy titles and ballyhoo verbiage, and then you get a relatively small still gallery. So it's not the kind of extras package that's going to keep you up for another week watching them, but it's all very interesting. I get fascinated. I love extras and commentaries on movies like this, predominantly ones that I enjoy, but especially if it's like, where did this movie come from? They tell you. So available now on Blu-ray, the really, really cool The Snake Girl and the Silver-Haired Witch.